again. How are you doing? I've got more to share with you today. I've got a book today that is all about taking a walk, a moonwalk. I wonder what kind of moonwalk it could be. Is it like when the astronauts landed on the moon and walked? No, not that kind of moonwalk. It's about a child, maybe about your age, who's walking at night when the moon is out. And you know, when you've gone for walks at night and you've seen the moon, I bet you've noticed some interesting things about the moon. Have you noticed how it doesn't look the same every night? Sometimes it's like a big circle, a full circle. And other times it's part of the moon showing up. And that's because we don't always see the whole side of the moon that the sun is shining on. We might just see part of that side or none of that side. Sometimes something happens where we don't see the moon at all, and that's just because we don't see any of the light that's shining on it from the sun. And they call that a new moon. And by the next day, we might see a little bit of the moon, and then a little more and a little more. So that's what's called the moon's phases, the way it looks different throughout the month. Now, something else you might have noticed about the moon is how sometimes it looks really big. Did you see the big full moon last week? Well, I looked into that a little bit. I studied about it and I found out the moon does not really change size at all. It just looks bigger depending on where it is in the sky. If we're seeing it as though it's down close to the earth, when we look way out there at the moon, then it seems bigger. It's an illusion though. It's not really bigger. It looks bigger because we're seeing it next to smaller things like trees, buildings, and it seems so big compared to those things. And then when it's high in the sky, it appears to be smaller, but it's really not. And it's not further away either. It's about the same distance away as when we see it down low. But when it's down low, it sure looks closer, doesn't it? Another thing maybe you've noticed when you're out walking is how the moon seems to follow you. When you walk a distance, you still see the moon as though it's staying with you. So it's very interesting to see the moon at night, isn't it? And notice these things. I think you're going to enjoy this story as this boy imagines going along with the moon at night on his nighttime walk. And our story is, I Took the Moon for a Walk. It's written by Carolyn Curtis and it's illustrated by Alison Jay. I took the moon for a walk last night. It followed behind like a still summer kite. Though there wasn't a string or a tail in sight when I took the moon for a walk. I carried my blue torch just in case the moon got scared and hid its face. But it peeked through clouds that were fragile as lace when I took the moon for a walk. I warned the moon to rise a bit higher so it wouldn't get hooked on a church's tall spire. while the neighborhood dogs made a train whistle choir. Whoo, 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 when I took the moon for a walk. We tiptoed through grass where the night crawlers creep when the rust-bellied robins have all gone to sleep. And the moon called the dew, so the grass seemed to weep when I took the moon for a walk. We raced for the swings where I kicked my feet high and imagined the moon had just asked me to fly. Hand holding hand through the starry night sky when I took the moon for a walk. We danced across the bridge where the smooth waters flow. The moon was above and the moon was below. And bright in between them, I echoed their glow when I took the moon for a walk. Then, as we turned back, the moon kept me in sight. It followed me home and stayed there all night. And thanked me by sharing its sweet, sleepy light when I took the moon for a walk. I hope you liked that story. When you're out walking, maybe in the evening, you can enjoy the moon and notice some of these things about the moon. The boy had a good imagination, didn't he? He felt like the moon was his friend. Well, you have a great week. I'm glad to see you again, and I'll look for you next week. Bye-bye.